What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? So, I got 3 videos to take care of, 3 recaps. Probably 4 because of the Tampa Supercross. I'm going to chop that up into 2 videos this time. But I'm going to get the bad one out of the way first. And unfortunately, it's the UH men's basketball team who came away empty-handed for the second road trip in a row. But I will say, though, I was encouraged by the second game because I have some things to say about that game. Now, I didn't really listen to much of it, mainly because I was away at church, plus I had Tampa Supercross. But I will say, though, I was very encouraged. Like I said earlier, I was very, very encouraged. So I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But first, guys, remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to. That's good enough for me. I got some B-roll from my phone that I took at the softball game I went to on Friday night. I know I've yet to do a recap there, and I will. So let's get into this. I'm going to talk about basketball first. UH basketball loses at Cal Poly 79-63 and at UC Santa Barbara 76-72. This was the encouraging one because given the kind of reputation that UC Santa Barbara has, they had the potential to just run away and leave UH in the dust. like how other teams have done in the past, like CSUN, and of course, but Cal Poly and of course UC San Diego this season. But Cal Poly was the big disappointment because I did not see any fight or much fight in them. I mean, they led by 1 at halftime, but unfortunately in the second half they were up by 1 as well. But then Cal Poly went on a 25-8 run to end the game and essentially hand UH its first loss at Mott Gym in 5 years. 2020 was the last time that happened. And I have to say, watching that game on Spectrum Sportsnet was not only disappointing, but it also proved to me that, but it also showed to me that they went back to their bad habits at that time. Did they take Cal Poly lightly? I like to say no, they did not. In fact, I know they didn't take this team lightly because Cal Poly is a team that can take one away from you if you're not careful. But I did not see them get into a rhythm. It looked like they were kind of fighting it a lot, trying to fight to get into a good rhythm, and Cal Poly dictated just about everything. It was a big contrast from last season where they only trailed for about a little over a minute and then ended up winning by 30. And that was after they turned a corner. So that's what makes it extra disappointing because I know that this team is talented and I kept saying to myself, you guys are talented. Would you just use it? And Santa Barbara, they proved it. And although the end result doesn't necessarily show, they proved they are a talented team. And if UH can do that for this last leg of the season, they can do themselves a lot of good. But fortunately, now I will say this though, fortunately, UH has been given a safety net and they've been given a safety net because Long Beach State and Cal State Bakersfield, the only other 2 teams that are close enough, that are in close proximity with the University of Hawaii, have been dropping some close ones. The most recent one, Cal State Bakersfield lost by 5 to UC Riverside. So that was 5 losses in a row for Bakersfield. And as for Long Beach State, I don't know what happened to them, but they've lost their last 8 in a row. That's right, 8 games in a row that Long Beach State has lost. So fortunately, UH is benefiting from this. Now, I agree they should be winning these games, but still, the fact that they are getting bailed out by other losses does cushion the blow. But Santa Barbara was the game where I saw flashes of the old team from the start of the season. And if that was something to take away from, University of Hawaii has got their final 5 home opponents right where they want them. Maybe with the exception of UC Irvine, because Irvine is a tough competitor. They're at the top of the standings for a reason. And fortunately, I think that we are going to go to the Big West tournament regardless, but some extra wins would certainly do us a lot of good. And I have a feeling that we are going to get them. They have to hit the ground running and come out with a purpose. And I think if somebody told this team what I said earlier, like, you guys are talented, would you just use it? Okay, if they told them that, and they could do great things. If they tell this team either that or you guys are talented, just prove it, would you? And I think that would give them a shot of adrenaline and maybe some even race gas for the brain, so to speak. Okay? So really, this is just my opinion. I am trying to encourage this team to hit their stride. And I think if they look at it as all about pride for now, that might take away some pressure. Not all of it, but it will help them out in the long run. And then they can worry about the tournament when they get there. Because Cal State Fullerton is the only team that UH has swept this season, but it doesn't look like they're going to the Big West tournament again. Cal Poly, I kind of doubt it. Long Beach State, I don't know. That's a tough one. But considering that they've lost 8 straight, there's probably about a 60% chance that's going to happen. They are not going to make the tournament, which is a big disappointment for them, to tell you the truth. I feel for them too, no lie, but really, if you're the University of Hawaii, you need all the help you can get. And so far, UH is really benefiting from Bakersfield and Long Beach State losing some close ones. Now, if we can get some wins, I think everybody's going to start feeling better about this team. And I was and maybe even some encouragement will come back too. I was encouraged because UH was able to take the lead from Santa Barbara, but unfortunately they couldn't close out. Unfortunately, they had 20 turnovers at UC Santa Barbara, but I am more than willing to give them a pass on that. The only thing is they had 2 turnovers late, and that ultimately killed their chances. But still, I am more than willing to give them a pass because I saw flashes of how good that this team can be. At least with some of the game that I listened to on the radio. But still, I was encouraged because I saw that old team. Now, the end result may not prove it, but I saw it. The fact that they led by as many as 3 points doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, I know how hard that they were playing, and you can't overlook that, okay? So really, don't give up on this team just yet, okay? And I'm certainly not doing that. We're heading into a stretch where the only opponent that's really a question mark is UC Irvine. Now, if we can keep pace with them, we got a good shot at winning. Not going to lie to you. But we just got to hit the ground running and prove that we're just as stubborn and we can take one away from them. It won't be easy, but I believe that UH can do it. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. Thought I'd keep it a little short. And remember, subscribe, and I'll see you all for that next game where UH takes on Long Beach State at home on the 13th and Irvine on the 15th. So thanks, guys. Subscribe, and I'll see you all again.